Ladies and gentlemen, if you do love the note of leather, you came to the right place. In this video, I'm going to talk about the Holy Grail best leather fragrances money can buy. If you guys want to know what they are, stick around. You know the drill. It's coming up next. Welcome back to another video. Forti here. If you do love to make a great and lasting impression, smelling good is a great way to start. Today we're going to talk about the best leather fragrances. This is episode 4 of the Holy Grail fragrances. We talked about vetiver, we talked about tobacco, we talked about boozy fragrances, and of course now this is leather. I'm going to have everything linked below to make your life easier if you want to check those videos. 15 plus fragrances. I normally give you this as a breakdown. We talk about, of course, entry-level leathers, then we talk about high-end, top of the line leather kind of fragrances, and then we give you some hidden gem leather fragrances. Last but not least, I give you my 3 top Holy Grail and all be all fragrances for that particular note in my collection. All opinions is obviously my own. This is my collection. This is my taste. Of course, you have your own. You're watching this video, maybe you're a connoisseur, an expert. Of course, I respect your opinion, but please do respect mine. Kicking the list off here with the best leathers. This is going to be Bulgari Man in black. This is going to be an immense leather fragrance. Of course, there's a new flanker that was released, I believe, a year or 2 ago, which is dark leather. Very nice as well. Doesn't last as long though. If you want the boozy, spicy, leathery effect that you get with this one, this is the one to go with, guys. The original from years ago, can't remember the year, but I'll have everything for you guys in the description of the video, linked here. Transitions, you're gonna get all the information you need, but Bulgari Man in black, definitely a great entry-level leather. If you're getting your toes wet, your nose wet here in the leather genre, this is definitely a great one to do. Best buying proposition here, if you want a budget and you want a phenomenal leather, again, boozy, leathery. The leather here is amazing, powerful leather, long-lasting, incredible performance on this one. This is 4 Men Intense from Bentley. This, I think, was released in 2013, if I'm not mistaken. This is one of the best, I'm gonna say that again, one of the best leather fragrances money can buy if you're on a budget. If you're on a budget, you like it, a spicy, sweet, vanillic leather fragrance, smells like an expensive exotic car seat with that vanillic, sweet kind of undercurrent. This is very modern, but it's an amazing fragrance. It's gonna get you smelling amazing, better than anybody else. If you do love leather and you're on a budget, you're getting your feet wet with the leather, not too pungent, not too animalic. Bentley 4 Men Intense is definitely the way to go. If you're gonna go for a spicy, nutty, almondy, pimento, hazelnuts, almond kind of a feel, this is going to be one of the best from the designer side that I think if you have a sweet tooth and you want a leather that's modern, L'Homme Ideal Intense is definitely the way to go. This is going to be the original formulation and bottle. This has been reformulated. The bottle that you're gonna find right now, it's gonna be here on the screen. But this one, nevertheless, is a great take on leather. That's sweet, borderline gourmand with a little bit of a spicy, woody facet to it. There's a pimento note here as well. The pepper is very prominent, and you have the nutty, almondy feel to this fragrance, almost like a roasted chestnut, almondy, roasted, marzipan kind of a feel. Smells amazing, great for compliments, also amazing for fall and winter. All these fragrances here, for the most part, will be best suited for chilly, cooler weather, fall, winter, early spring. Summertime, not so much, although you can pull this off if you control the applications and you're going to be indoors with air conditioning. You can actually pull off any of these anytime, anywhere. These are going to be great for signature scent. If you do love the note of leather, to be honest with you, you can actually rock any of these for a signature scent, providing you control the applications, the sprayers. But normally speaking, these are going to be best suited for cooler weather. Last one here for the entry level is going to be ombre leather from the house of Tom Ford, of course. Leather here is incredible, very similar to Tuscan leather. This is going to be a more subdued, quieter, not as pungent as Tuscan leather, but it's going to be the same kind of a genre, same kind of profile, which is that raspberry and leather kind of a feel that's quite smoky, slightly nutty, very earthy, very natural and organic to the leather feel. As you have the leather tag here in the front, this is going to give you a tremendous leather profile feel with that smooth and creamy, woody and fruity raspberry feel and touches that this has. Amazing here, one of the best, definitely for entry level. I think any one of these 4 will be great. Of course, as we continue to listen towards the end, I'm going to give you some honorable mentions as well to consider, but the ones I picked here, the 15 here, are definitely the best of what leather has to offer, in my humble opinion. Now we're going to go to high end. You got 4 choices, and we're going to kick it off with one from 2017 from the house of Bottega Veneta, and I said this many times. This is a masterpiece from a designer brand. This is hard to find. I don't believe it's been discontinued, but I know it's hard to find. It gets harder and harder to find every year. Sometimes discounters have it. Again, if it's available right now, I'll have it linked for you. This is Bottega Veneta Pour en Parfum, one of the best designer. People talk about Prada L'Homme Intense. This one puts that fragrance in the pocket, my friends. This is incredible, just so good. This is going to be coniferous pine cone vibe, slightly spicy and woody as well, very aromatic. There's a lavender note here, beautiful sandalwood in the base that adds creaminess to this leather. Just like the texture here in the bottom of the bottle, this is a phenomenal leather fragrance that's woody, spicy, and modern. Check this out if you can find it. It doesn't come cheap. Like I said, one of the best leather designer fragrances ever produced, at least in the last 10-15 years. High-end, continuing the high-end list here, the second option here for me, it's going to be perhaps one of my current favorites right now for the high-end. This stuff here is absolutely fire. I talked about it last year. It was one of the best releases from me of last year. From the House of 𝗦𝗦𝗡, from their Elixir collection, which they were doing elixirs before the elixir became a fad and a thing and a trend. This is virgin leather, ladies and gentlemen. An absolutely stunning leather scent. This one has iris, animalistic leather, boozy, woody, spicy facets. It hits you from all different angles, but it's blended to perfection. The leather here is one of the best modern leathers I've put my nose on as of late. Incredible stuff. As the fragrance develops and warms up with your body chemistry, it becomes even more powerful. You have castoreum note here, which has that leathery / animalistic note to the fragrance. You have Haitian vetiver. There's a touch of oud here. This is no joke, not for the faint of heart. If you do love the note of leather, if you're someone who's always looking for the next best thing when it comes to a certain note, this is definitely something to consider checking out. You're going to love it. Still here with the high-end fragrances here, we're gonna go for the House of Memo Paris. I'm not gonna talk about African leather, as you probably think I am. Instead, I'm gonna talk about one of the most hidden gems. This could also make the hidden gems list, but I left it in the high-end because it is a high-end, luxurious company. This is going to be an eau de parfum concentration, and it's going to be Irish leather. And I've said this before many times, I think the House of Memo, when it comes to leathers, this is their bread and butter. This is what they do well. They are, in my opinion, one of the best companies when it comes to leathers. They take a certain leathery facet and they embellish it, right? Different parts of the world, it's all about traveling. They embellish those fragrances and leathery notes with elements of those particular countries. This is Irish leather, so of course it's gonna have some complements of that particular region. But this to me, it's a boozy, nutty kind of a leather. Absolutely fantastic. I get this absinthe kind of a note, almost licorice. There's a nutty hazelnut kind of a vibe as well. It's slightly smoky, slightly earthy, definitely vetiver here. It's a, kind of a dark juice, not overly dark, but it is kind of a dark scent profile, incensey even, absolutely amazing. This leaves an immense sensorial and sillage. One of my favorite leather fragrances, very hidden gemish, not many people talk about it. Irish leather here from the high-end line of fragrances. And of course, the last fragrance from the high-end top 4 is going to go to this one. You can't talk about leather without talking about this Chypre leather right here. One of the most expensive out there, but also has tremendous quality, incredible performance, and this smells absolutely out of this world good. This is going to be Roge Parfums 𝗕𝗙𝗢𝗓. I talked about this fragrance many times. This is a fragrance fit for a king, a czar, an emperor. It's absolutely fantastic, guys. If you haven't tried this one and you love an animalistic Chypre that's also spicy and slightly floral, this is amazing. This is a masterpiece. It could have easily made my top 3 Holy Grails in the end, but I'm gonna put it here on the high end because I have even, harder to find things in my Holy Grail. And Holy Grail usually is the best profile that it's like a masterpiece, but it's also hard to find. It's kind of like flexing a little bit, but not really. These are just perfection when it comes to the note of leather. Not that this one isn't, and not that the other ones that I'm talking about isn't, but the fact that they're hard to find, they become a little bit more desirable, if you will. So 𝗕𝗙𝗢𝗓 here as my last choice for the top high-end fragrances that contain a prominent note of leather. The next 4 are going to be the hidden gem leather fragrances. Perhaps you haven't heard of these, perhaps you haven't tried them, but you definitely should because they are quality. Some of these are extremely great in pricing, definitely worthy of your attention. We're going to kick it off here with Philippe Plein's. This is going to be No Limits. I love this fragrance. This is very unapologetic, powerful, slightly sweet and gourmandy. The leather here is amazing. It's animalistic, it's spicy, and it's woody. And you have some sweet and spicy tendencies. This is incredible for what you're getting here, the performance and the price. You can actually find this one here as a cheapie. Again, I'm gonna have it listed below. Amazing for compliments. This is great for night out, date, romantic settings. Definitely perhaps the most youthful here on the list if you're a youngster out there and you wanna get into leather. We talked about some of the ones entry level, but even in a hidden gem area here, this is gonna be a great one if you're getting into leathers, but you don't want anything too pungent, too hard to wear. Philippe Plein's No Limit, especially for the price point, will definitely be something to consider. Speaking of price point, this one here a little hard to find. You can find it time and time again at discounters. It's a great one. The name is very misleading. It says to be Salvatore Ferragamo Oud. It is not. it should have been called 𝗕𝗘𝗙𝗢𝗥𝗘 Leather, because this fragrance here, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great fragrance. It has some sweet components, almost like this dry caramel note. Reminds me, honestly, of Bel Ami from Hermès with a modern sweet undercurrent and twist. As the bottle has a twist, it's going to have that sweet twist of the caramel, sweet vanillic kind of a feel here. But it is pungent, it is rather animalic. The leather here is quite strong and powerful. Again, very reminiscent of the old school Bel Ami from the house of Hermès. Amazing stuff here. Also can be found at discounters for good price every now and again, although it goes in and out of stock because it is quite a good fragrance that has somewhat of a cult following, if you will. Next up, we're going to talk about one from a house that I love, and this is from the house of 𝗙𝗦. This is 𝗕𝗏𝗏, and this to me is perfection when it comes to a sweet, spicy, and nutty leather, guys. Amazing stuff, as good as it gets, powerful. I guess you could say it has similar vibe to Irish leather. They could be cousins. This one here, though, a little bit more pungent, animalistic, and slightly more floral than the Irish leather from Memo Paris, but they're in the same wheelhouse. This one here, perhaps a little bit more powerful. So if you want more oomph, longer lasting, and stronger, woodier, spicier, and floral notes, definitely go with this one here, but they're both incredible. If you want something a little bit more of a stealth wealth, quiet luxury, then go with Irish leather, but they're in the same wheelhouse for sure. And last but not least here with the hidden gems, I'm going to talk about one that I love. This was released last year from the house of Qhue. This is Provenance. This is an extrait de parfum, amazing presentation. It comes in this beautiful vessel. The fragrance itself is very minimalist. The actual bottle has this magnetic cap. And the juice is absolutely phenomenal because it's going to be this boozy, spicy leather that pays homage to the old days of New York City, the New Amsterdam days. So it has all those elements, all those components of the spicy, the powder, amazing stuff. This is pungent, guys. If you want a pungent leather that's long lasting, paying homage to old school classic fragrances from the 17, 18, 1900s. This is it, guys. It has a boozy quality to it, but the leather here is the star player with a slightly tobacco undertone. This is beast, guys. This is the most beast mode fragrance on this list. So if you want a pungent, long lasting, spicy, boozy leather that's going to be monster in performance, definitely check Provenance. You're going to love it. But the smell itself is absolutely heavenly, guys. And the more it warms up with your body, the better it gets. Trust me, this is one of the best for me in this particular collection for sure. Now, the last three are going to be the Holy Grail ones. These are going to be the hard ones to find. You can find these fragrances today in their current formulations. So one of my Holy Grails, of course, has to be Bel Ami from the house of Hermès. This is going to be a vintage, I believe, from 1986. It is available today. You can find it still, but it's going to be a fraction, I'd say a third or quarter of what this fragrance once was. This is a phenomenal leather fragrance, as good as it gets. It's a woody, spicy leather, you know, like no other. When it comes to incredible leather fragrances with a tobacco and pine cone green kind of undertone, of course, Holy Grail for me is Polo. This is a Cosmere edition, which is from back in the day. Now it has been reformulated to that. This is a watered down version of what you can find on this fragrance in the market today. If you want the true effect of the leather here, you have to find older bottles that has Cosmere at the sticker at the bottom of these bottles. But needless to say, this is one of the best leather fragrances ever produced, in my humble opinion, in 1978. And last but not least, from 1980 to 1981, this is a Holy Grail of all Holy Grails for me in my collection. Not only leather, this is it. Like if you took my whole collection, I would say, please leave me this one fragrance. And of course, this is going to be Pâteau pour Homme from 1980, 1981. This is a phenomenal Chypre leather fragrance, kind of similar to the 𝗕𝗏𝗏 that I talked about before, but this one here, it's going to have a boozy note. It has some fougere, Chypre tendencies. It has so many notes, but it's done to perfection. I'm not even going to waste the spray because I do have a smaller bottle of this that's probably halfway through, but this is really my Holy Grail when it comes to leather fragrances, guys. Pâteau pour Homme. If you can find this fragrance, guys, and you love leather, you owe it to yourself to have this bottle, because if you love leather, there's no two ways about it. You're going to love this fragrance. And some honorable mentions here. I'm going to talk about one. Actually, we'll talk about a couple different ones. We did talk about Prada L'Homme Intense, which is a great leather, gourmandy, slightly smoky kind of a fragrance. That's a great one. L'Artisan Zing is a great leather with cotton candy. It has elements of carnival and circus. It's quite nice as well. Chanel Antheus, it's a great leather fragrance from 1981, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, Midnight in Paris from the house of Van Cleef & Arpels is a great rubbery, slightly sweet and creamy leather that's been long discontinued. And the last two honorable mentions I'm going to talk about, because they're been reformulated and hard to find, whatever's available today absolutely sucks, of course. The Homme Parfum is a great fragrance when it comes to leather, oud, with modern sweet iris components. Absolutely masterpiece of a fragrance. Whether you go with the 2020 version or the 2014 version, you're going to be amazed by the quality and amazing leather facet that this fragrance has. However, it has been reformulated. Whatever is available today is not what the fragrance used to be. So you'll have to find an older version to appreciate the leather there. Now, last but not least, this here happens to be one of my favorite old school vintage. This is from 2013, if I'm not mistaken, when Yves Saint Laurent had a private blend of sorts, and then they discontinued and brought back whatever is available today. Well, you have Baby Cat, Tuxedo, the Le Vestiaire, whatever it's called. That is the current, collection of Yves Saint Laurent private blend. But back in the day, they had a line, and this I think was called the Noble collection. And this is Noble Leather, guys. Absolutely love this fragrance. This is saffron, dried fruits, vanilla, patchouli. Absolutely incredible leather here. This is a sweet and spicy leathery fragrance. Absolutely out of this world good. Unfortunately, long discontinued, sadly. I'm hoping that this fragrance gets reintroduced in the current Yves Saint Laurent collection. Yves Saint Laurent, if you're listening, if you care, please bring this one back. It is sorely missed. Guys, that's all I have for you. These are the best of the best, in my humble opinion, when it comes to leathers. Great stuff here from all different price points, different angles, different profiles within the leather genre. These are going to get you smelling incredible if you do love leathers. Thank you so much for your support. If you do love the channel, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe for more, hit the bell so you get these videos straight into your feed. And of course, I will catch you right here with another one very soon. Take care.